right, this is we're resuming our podcast. Pork Chop's gonna call in a minute. We're gonna talk about um, staying physically fit in prison, both mentally, emotionally, physically, all these things inside the penitentiary. We're gonna try to cover some of the things that we do in there to keep our mental state right. I got out in 2021 in March. I've been out ever since. And even in that little bit of time, a lot of things have changed drastically. And we'll talk about this K9, K2, whatever it is. It's a drug that is in there now. It's like PCP, you know. And so, um, based on all the people that I talk to, they're saying like the culture in there is changing. You see a lot of what I call space cadets, dudes that are in there and they're fucking walking around like high as can be, not focusing on trying to better their lives, better themselves so that when they get out. And so we're going to talk about physical, the working out part, and then how you keep your mind. And this will be more than one part, probably be two or three parts, where we actually walk through the whole process of, the working out the reading and taking classes and all these things necessary so that when you get out, you give yourself a chance. I am a two-time convicted felon. I've had 20 years in prison from armed robbery, aggravated assault, drug trafficking, attempted murder. I mean, all this dumb shit. There's nothing to glamorize that shit. It's all dumb shit. Stupid decisions you make that cost you your time. Sitting in a fucking cell and they're telling you everything to do until you get out. So you either try to figure out your life in there, or you figure it out here. And if you don't try it in there, you get out here, most times you just go right back. So in these next two or three podcasts, we're going to talk about the physical fitness part of it and the psychological part of it, working out. And hopefully we'll educate you on some things. Anyway, look forward to you tuning in. Peace. We're back with the Prison to Street Life podcast. It's been like a month since we've done this because one of the big issues was when I was recording, me and Pork Chop or me and G Frank or whoever, I was having problems with the recording equipment. Like the sound sounded like shit. Anyway, I wound up getting this piece of equipment, and so now I can sit and we can have these conversations, and I'm not it doesn't sound like trash and shit. So anyway, what's going on, Chop?
Hey, what's going on, man?
We talked earlier just to test it out, and that shit came out perfect and stuff. So anyway, we did a podcast that was focusing on working out in there and dealing with mental health, dealing with your physical, and then I forgot what the third one was, but just the stress involved in it. And you've been down 19 years on a 51-year sentence. Is
That's
that
right.
okay? So and for you, when I was in there, we were locked up together. We had routines that we worked out. We kind of was there the last year with COVID, and so it became a it was harder to work out because we couldn't go to the cage. The cage is the weight cage where everybody goes and they lift weights. So we had to kind of make different types of equipment. But anyway, so how important, or put it this way, we'll focus on the physical part of it, or put it, the mental health part of it. What working out does for you. Um, so just tell me how important, because I know you work out almost every day. How important is working out inside the penitentiary for your mental state?
Oh my God, it's everything. It keeps me out of the fucking mental health department. Keeps me off all those experimental fucking pills they hand motherfuckers. I mean, if you go down there and say you're dealing with some shit, the first thing they're going to want to do is put you on zombie dope.
Right.
Thorazine or fucking Elavil or some shit you ain't never even heard of. Probably banned in the United States, but they buy the shit super fucking cheap. It
Yeah.
wouldn't shock me at all. But anyway, and then you got all those side effects that you got to deal with, man. And for me personally, when I got down, that was one of the first things that all the old school dudes that they told me. Said, man, you have to stay out of that fucking med line as long as possible.
Right.
And the way to do that is you got to take care of yourself. And when they were explaining it to me, it's not just about your body, building up strength and muscle and shit. There's a completely different aspect to it mental health. And once I really got into my bit and started, I'm like, oh my God, this shit, it's a game changer.
Right.
I mean, it literally helps me in every possible way. And it's for people that do work out and, you know, they're physically fit and they've taken care of their bodies the majority of their life, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
But people that don't, and I'm not trying to say this like in an arrogant jock douchebag way, but it really is the greatest thing since fucking sliced bread.
Yeah.
I mean, so we don't have very many ways to relieve stress. You know, the fucking all the bullshit that we have to deal with, because this environment is literally designed to keep us on our toes. And it's not just the violence that you might face from the other inmates. It's the way that the administration and the staff, they put all these bullshit rules into place to purposely make it a stressful and fucked up environment.
Exactly.
And we don't have many ways to deal with that. A lot of people are even unaware that that's going on. So number one thing they turn to is going to be drugs.
Yeah, we looked at the last month and a half. You know, I've started to see inmates or former inmates start talking more about the prison structure itself as opposed to glamorizing. There's a few guys in there who they're starting to talk about the actual prison, and then I'm starting to see a lot of these females who get a guy in there and they prison wife, and it's like it's so delusional, but you know you can't engage that on social media if that's how they want to live. But I'm seeing a lot more guys talking about the physical part of it, you know, and they don't understand, like in a day, and I talked about it earlier, was like there was a time when I was in Chillicothe. There was a yard in Chillicothe, and they were so petty with it. They would walk around like you had to wear your ID on your breast, you know, your chest, and if like sometimes you take it out, either you're going to the child hole, whatever, you take it out and you don't think in your head, you know, about it. You put it in your pocket, and they were taking, like if you was in your pocket, they were taking you to the hole, and so just so people have a context in regards to it. It's like if you lived at 123 Apple Street, whatever. You live there, you have all your stuff there, you're comfortable there, you go to work there, everything's there. That's your home. And you get a jaywalking ticket. Some cop stops you because you jaywalked. Imagine now you had to move out of 123 Apple Street and you had to go someplace else with people you didn't know, or you just still had to adapt. That's prison for you. That's how fucking petty they can be in there. And they don't understand how stressful that is. To go to the hole, not know where you're going to go, and then go there, you moving all your shit. All these people have been in this dorm for this long, and you'll know some people and shit, and that'd be cool with you, but it's still the whole movement like that. So that it's necessary to for a lot of people to work out. They think you go to prison, you get big, and like you come out, look how tough I am. I'm more buff. And like you see these motherfuckers out here that have these channels, some of them, and they have to take their shirt. I don't understand what the fuck the whole shirt off is about. Like they literally, bro, they're taking their shirt off to show their tattoos, and if they have a little bit of muscles or whatever, like. And I don't like. I guess that's the attraction. Somehow that equates to fighting. It doesn't equate to fighting, but anyway. I mean, I worked out in there because it's all about the stress. You know, it's all about keeping the stress. I got muscles. You know, that doesn't mean shit in there. It means nothing in there. Just means you got some muscles. Big fucking deal. But out here, I guess it plays different. People see it like they equate muscles like you're some bad motherfucker. And I've seen plenty of dudes with muscles get their ass beat in there. So, by little.
Oh
dudes.
my God.
Yeah. They don't know that out here.
In the world.
Yeah.
Right. Listen, man. All the muscles in the world ain't gonna stop you from getting stomped out. If 5 people decide to go cave your fucking face in, you're done.
Or somebody who got hands. Like.
Or someone that's got hands. Or, worst case scenario, a motherfucker that don't got hands, that's scared of you, and then they throw baby oil in your fucking face.
Yeah, baby oil that's been sitting in the microwave for 7 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't know about that out
Look,
here.
okay. So yeah, if a motherfucker wants to boil some baby oil and throw it in your fucking face, and that they got a knife or a goddamn a belt with
Right.
3 locks on it, and they're just gonna fucking Conan the Barbarian your fucking ass. I mean, then you're fucking all the goddamn muscles in the world. Even if you can fight,
Right.
you can be the baddest motherfucker in the world. If you can't see, what the fuck are you gonna swing at? I
Nothing.
mean,
Nothing. And
exactly.
so you get in that
Nothing.
situation out here. Now, this is prison and street life, so we talk about what's going on there out here. Like I see the majority of people. When I first got out, I was like, everybody's out of shape. So you see a lot of people that are just, morbidly overweight. Like me and Karen went to we go to a place called Sweet Tomatoes, or some of these other places that have, buffets, or you can eat. Everybody in there is like 250, 300 pounds, and like they got 4 or 5 plates. They can complain about this country, but this is one of the countries most countries you can't do that. And people are like either cigarette. Like I talked to people when I first got out, almost 4 years ago now, and like they smoke cigarettes and drink, and you could see it. Same person you grew up with, but you see them now, and their faces are gaunt. Their color is not right. You know, because they just been living the way they live out. For us, in there, it's always a situation of like, I'm preparing to get out. It might be longer for most, but I'm gonna take care of myself. It's necessary that physically I take care of myself while I'm in here. And that might require, that's working out, that's reading, that's trying to do things that's going to benefit my freedom when I leave. And a lot of people out here, they're not focused on that. Everything out here is 1,000 miles an hour. And people just, what I just say, live your best life. Yeah, go ahead and have another fucking donut. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not trying to knock
Oh
anybody,
shit.
but this is an unhealthy ass country that we live in, man. And for some people like me, prison was a blessing. It was absolutely a lifesaver for me. So, but
I was just about to say, man. I mean, had it had it not been for prison, I mean, how many of us would have taken such good care of our bodies?
right. And you said
That's
like the percentage of people that was in the weight cage. How many were allowed there when I was there? Was it 30 or more?
it was no, it was way more than that,
Was it
man. That
okay?
motherfucker was jam packed, bro. Jam packed, nonstop. Now it's a fucking ghost town.
But they
Last
had a
night
they had a
there was
limit of the
nine.
amount of people that could go in there at one time. Remember they was grabbing the IDs. So anyway, my point, what I'm trying to get to is the people that's not taking care. So back then it was always filled. You know what I mean? You have X amount of people on this. I worked out with nothing but Latin Kings, so we always had like 3 or 4 pieces of equipment. You know how that goes. So we go in there 12 deep, no fucking conversation. You do your set, the next person does, and then you go to each equipment, and then when the hour's done, you're like you got it in. And you're saying now it's empty, like the gym in
Oh my
there.
god,
And why is that?
completely fucking empty. I think it's for a whole lot of For one, I'm not trying to glorify this shit at all, but the joint has changed, man. It is so completely different now, especially in the place that I'm at right now, and I love it because it's just laid back. They do a lot of stupid shit here, but they're gonna do it's prison. They're gonna do stupid shit anywhere. They're just to fuck with you because they can. That's the name of the game. They want you to always feel like you have to walk on eggshells. They want that stress, that anxiety to build up in you. They want to keep you out of the loop. They want to keep you guessing. They want you to be under stress. I don't know how that's productive or that's helping anybody get rehabilitated or ready for the street because there's all kinds of stupid shit in here. They got rules for nothing that will ever benefit you in society. Nothing whatsoever. And you can say like, well, if don't do the crime then. All right. I would just like to point out to those people, how many times have you driven in the past week without your seatbelt on? Or how many times did you roll through a stop sign or run a red light? or disobey the speed
Something.
limit.
Yeah. Stole
We
fucking
all break
staples
law.
from your job and
A
shit.
cigarette butt. Yeah. How
Right.
many times did you throw a cigarette butt
Right.
down? How many times did you slack off at work and cheat your company out of money? I mean, essentially stealing from them. So, exactly.
Right.
Everybody breaks the law. When you live in a country that's got this many fucking laws, you're bound to break one, whether you know it's inadvertently or not.
Right.
It's just gonna fucking happen, man. But my point is this: what is all this shit getting us ready for? It's not. It's only setting a motherfucker up, dude, to not be able to function out there. When you take everyone's decision making ability away from them, you're stunning their growth and their development. There's no such thing as normal social interaction in here. And when you have that mindset that you come in here like, okay, let's shit on these people every chance we get. Let's make it as uncomfortable as possible, even when they're not doing shit, just because we can. Fuck it.
Right.
I'm a good guy. You're a bad guy.
It
You're not
create
getting anybody fucking ready for the street.
no, it just creates
You're just
bitterness.
not.
It creates anger. And that's so again, that's Ohio where you're at. Arizona where I was
Yeah.
locked up also, and other yards or other jails, it's different. So out here they don't do that. But they do it differently where they allow, the racial segregation. They allow the maneuverability on the yard of the chaos aspect of it, and they stay away from it for most part. Like they got certain high custody yards. They got a thing called control movement. Everybody moves at the same time. So they're not. They don't. They can be petty. Like there was a time they were petty out here. I did my time out here. I got out in '03. This was for the 6 years for the bank robbery, and they were petty at times. But we still had a little bit of every once in a while we could exert our unified control, and it almost lets them know like, yeah, motherfuckers, you got 18 or 30 on any shift. We got 1,200. Like, don't get it twisted. So there's a give and take out here that takes place. Now I don't know. I haven't been out. I haven't been. I got out in '03 out here, so I don't know. And out in Ohio, they have more control because the type of inmate, the structure that it is in there, it's more like more disorganized out there. So like it's still racial, but like out here, blacks unify together. You know what I mean? Hispanics unify together, whites unify. Out there, it's a free for all, and because of that, you have much more. You'll have a black and a white guy jumping a black guy. Like I never heard of no shit like that. This is in Ohio, and the staff just instigates that shit. Like they allow pedophiles on the yard. People think pedophile go to the yard, he gets the blues. He doesn't. Not in Ohio. In Arizona, they give them their own yard. They can't walk on the yard with us. So, and then you have, the pedophiles, chomos. You got the Cheetolines or, the dudes that are gay in there that practice that. And in Ohio, like, they protect them. Because if you do anything to them, that's a hate crime. And because of that, they have, to me, the most arrogant people in prison are pedophiles, especially when they're protected. Because now they have that entitlement, like, I mean, you already know how many fucking head porters, clerks, all types of dudes in there for sex cases, and they got these prominent positions in the penitentiary and shit. And so, anyway, getting back to the whole working out part of it, a lot of that is mentally what they call common trauma, which is the trauma you see every day that you don't consider trauma. Out, in Ohio, mentally seeing that every day. Just think about it. You're around a dude who raped this 4-year-old girl, and now he's got a position of, well, I don't want to say power in there. What the fuck? Control, whatever. You know what I mean? Decision making. And he's using that against you, and he's talking to you like he's better than you. And the only thing you want to do at that moment is bash his fucking brains in. Like, you just want to just kill this motherfucker in there. And you gotta swallow that shit. You gotta fucking you gotta eat that shit. You can't. That's fucking stressful, man. That's stressful to go to bed and this motherfucker done talk this shit because he got the COs, and that's just one element of the stress. You know what I mean? That motherfucker has to deal with in there. I mean, I just thought about that because there's a difference between Ohio and Arizona and other prisons throughout the country. So, you know, Ohio's a whole
Yeah,
different animal.
we totally got off this. I did that too. We were talking about the weight cage, but it kind of all blends together, so it's all good.
Well, it's working out
You
as a
know,
stress reliever. So, like, and we haven't done
absolutely,
anything in
man.
a month, over a month.
But it's I really ain't got a reason for to tell you like why that many people aren't in the cage like they used to be. It's I
Well, I
I
think you
really don't
do.
know, man.
I
Because
think you do. You just,
well,
well, let's go to the, what is it, the K-12, whatever the fuck that is.
oh my God,
Yeah,
dude.
because G Frank's
No,
telling me the same
you're
shit,
thinking of
man.
school, bro. You're thinking of school, K through 12, man.
K, whatever the fuck that shit is.
Nah,
What's
man.
it called? K,
They,
K.
they call the shit tuned.
Nah, but it's called something else. It's K something. It's gotta. I have to Google that shit. It's it
K2,
K2.
K2.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
the
I know I'm
shit.
not tripping this shit.
Oh my. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
K2. All right, so the like I was talking about, you got a positive and a constructive way to deal with the everyday fucked up life, and it gets to all of us. This shit changes you. I don't give a fuck who
Fuck
you
yeah.
are, where you come from, how intelligent you are, what background you're from, what economic status that you were from. It don't fucking matter. This shit is going to change you, flat out. You have to be a very disciplined individual to be able to hold on to a little bit of yourself. You're going to change no matter what, man. And working out, getting those endorphins flowing, man, and relieving that stress. If you don't want to fuck somebody up and catch a case, get your security increased, and then you're always going to be in trouble for fighting, because that's what the last place I was like was like. So if you always feel like you're on a tightrope that's covered in fucking oil,
Yeah.
and that's not good for anybody, man.
No.
And a lot of these dudes, unfortunately, because like I said, society has changed, the dope scene has changed so fucking much, man. And it's just so much cheaper and so readily available, at least in Ohio. I guess it's that way all over the
Everywhere.
country, because
Everywhere.
overdose numbers are fucking records. So that's what they're used to when they come in here. That's the way they deal with it. And you got some dudes, they're dealing with it with the fucking the psych drugs that they're putting them on here,
Yeah.
and then they're getting high on the compound. It's fucking. And I don't look down or make fun of anybody for getting high, man. I started using when I was 11. I started selling dope when I was 12, and I didn't stop until I caught this case.
No.
I mean, I was so far gone, I didn't know I was a fucking addict until I lost all my connects. And I had no way to fucking support myself anymore, and I was just fucking getting dope sick. I didn't know what the fuck it was, but I was dope sick, man.
Yeah.
It's a bad motherfucker, man, the way they have pain clinics and shit set up in Ohio. That's a different conversation, though. But
I think they should give
I
them.
don't.
They should. I got this. I'm putting it on the screen. This these are gummies and shit. 1,000 milligrams of THC and shit. I think they should hand them motherfuckers out to in there.
Goddamn right they should.
Just because I think it's not harmful for you at all. I mean, it's recreational. And I definitely will put people in a lot. When time comes, I'm going to advocate for that. You know what I mean? But that K2 or
Right.
Tune, that's more like PCP. Like I know some good dudes that tried that shit, and I watched a white kid in there do that shit and like spaz out, and I was like, God damn, that's the closest thing I could remember being in New York was angel dust. I mean, it really, and so and this is what G's saying, the same thing, is that it's like it steals these dudes' will to work out. You know what I mean? To get in there and keep themselves healthy. And
Bro, to do anything. to do anything, man.
That's
It is
fucking
so
crazy.
fucking sad looking at these dudes, man. You see these kids coming in, I swear to God, 18 years old, and you'll see them come in, because everybody's got their shit. They're getting off the bus, and it's like this regular, like, happy, like, bubbly fucking kid, like, oh, yeah. And, yeah, I know that's fucking weird to say in prison, but the reality of the shit ain't set in yet, right?
Right,
Like, they get to see their dudes and shit from
right.
JDC,
It's a
and
game.
you see them a couple months later, and oh my God, dude, their fucking skin looks different.
Hmm.
They're fucking, and it's everybody, dude. It is, dude.
Well,
It is just so fucking crazy,
they're
man.
trying to cope with the time, and that's the thing. It's like, how do you, when you got, I mean, you do a great job, man, and we're in a good situation when it comes to you, but how do you go in there with 51 years, like, to rationalize that in your brain, like, that kind of
I
situation,
didn't,
right? But
bro. I didn't at first, man.
right,
I was fucked up, man,
yeah,
for a long time, dude. I mean, I was just the most angry, bitter, fucked
yeah,
up motherfucker that you could ever be around.
yeah.
And yeah, that's a whole nother conversation
Yeah,
too,
nah, but
man.
that
But
goes to the still with the mental health. How you able to walk yourself back from that? Because Dale, he tried to commit
it took a long
suicide twice
time.
in there. You know what I mean? It's in his book, and it's just, and there was times when I'm, with the 14-year sentence where I'm sitting there and I'm trying to think back 14 years ago. I'm like, fuck, man, that's where how long I gotta go. Like thinking about when TV shows at the time when I went in '07, 14s would have been what 93. Is it 90? Yeah,
You
something
have 1 minute remaining.
somewhere around
God
there.
damn, that was a half hour.
Yeah, that flew. I
Fuck.
mean, this is what the thing is now that I got this recording thing. It's called Zoom or something. You have your own line to it, and I have mine. I don't have to wrestle with this shit no more, so we can pump out 2 of these a week. But anyway, I'm gonna talk to them. Once you get off the phone about really what this was about, and just kind of getting everything back on because I haven't done anything on Spotify. I haven't done anything on Apple, but now we're back, Prison of Street Life, and we're gonna do our thing. Hey, try to give me a holler later on. We'll try to go over these tickets and shit.
All
See
right,
how we're
man, for
doing
sure.
this shit.
For sure, man. You probably gonna have to edit the fuck out of this one, but
Nah, you just play it through because it's just conversation. Everybody's doing the same thing, but they're not talking about it the way. I don't think they're talking about the way especially the way we're gonna talk about it. So anyway, just keep your head up,
all
bro,
right,
and,
man.
and
Shit.
give me a holler back in a little bit, and we'll
Thank
finish
you
it.
for using GTL.
Anyway, that was Chop, and am I still recording? Yeah, I guess I am still recording. Yeah, cool. Anyway, that was Chop, and we hadn't talked for about a month and a half because, and you'll see the difference in these recordings and the ones that I was doing before. It was extremely frustrating when you're trying to get shit done and you're like, and the voice sounds terrible, and you're trying to do other things like I'm trying to do with the clothing line. I'm trying to do with the book stuff, the TV show, and multimedia. That's what I prepared myself for in there, and now I'm trying to implement that out. And it's been a battle because there's a lot of moving parts out here, and to stay focused on one specific element of what you're trying to do is hard because you got other things you're trying to do. So anyway, he was talking about the working out in there, and I had discussed it with G Frank, who you know from other podcasts. He was the one. G Frank was on death row for 18, 19 years, and then Chop has been down 19, almost 20 on a 51-year sentence. My brother Dale's getting out after 20 years for homicide. And then there's a ton of other guys, and we can start doing these now because I have the equipment to do it. And so, but he was really just talking about how for him, and I can tell you this about Chop, is that for him working out, just like it is for me, is very important in there because there's just so much chaos that you have to maneuver. And it's not the chaos that a lot of people say, because again, in these podcasts, all you hear is all the negative shit in there. This person happened to this. I was on the yard when this person did this. This supposed prison, superstar. I was on the yard. Nobody gives a fuck about that, and they at least shouldn't give a fuck about that. That's an environment. If anybody was doing anything big, it's because they were locked up in their state and they knew the people in their city. Do that shit in another state. Let me see who you are then. Instead of, promoting it, because that's all it comes across is you're promoting the negative stereotypes. And prison and street life, we're not trying to do that. Prison is a mechanism in place that is not designed to rehabilitate. It's designed to make money. All the laws, and you can look at The House I Live In, which is a documentary on the war on drugs, and a ton of other stuff that's out there to show you how prison is structured, the laws are structured, the police and the communities are structured to incarcerate, to send you to prison. Now they have a person there, and then they have people, your people that love you, and they want to get the money out of them. So you're in there, you're not contributing anything other. You might have a little punk ass job, but you're not making any money. In fact, you're costing taxpayers money, but it's part of the process when you're dealing with the prison industrial complex, because now I'm in there. If I have a wife, if I have a sister, if I have a brother, if I have a mother, if I have all these people sending me $100 here, $50 there, because they want me to still be able to maneuver. And if I was out there making money and I was looking out for them, they probably feel obligated. Whatever the case may be, they're making money off the families now. Big money off the families now. So don't let anybody tell you that prison is about rehabilitation. It's not. You have to do it yourself. At the same time, when you come out, if you're an ex-con and you say you're an ex-con, then you're supposed to hold a different code than a prisoner or an inmate. A convict understands, it's like saying you're woke. Back then, woke means I see everything clearly. I see how you're trying to manipulate my people, my culture, my community, whatever. I'm seeing it. I see the game. Now it means like, these are my pronouns and you gotta fucking accept that shit. Which in there gets your fucking face split if you start talking that shit in prison. Nobody gives a fuck about your pronouns or anything like that. I'm not saying you can't do that out here, but you can't force it on a person out here. Anyway, so now we're back, prison to street life. And again, the goal is to expose this prison industrial complex and to give you a better understanding of actual prison. Not the shit you see on social media that glamorizes it. So anyway, with that said, thank you for tuning in. Now we can start pumping these out and really being topical. And hopefully, if everything goes well, start talking to inmates across the country that I don't know. You know what I mean? People, but I understand. I'm like, 20 years in prison. I understand the culture. So we'll start pumping these out, and hopefully you tune in. If you see us on YouTube, subscribe. Spotify, Apple, subscribe, and we look forward to building the community. At any rate, thank you for tuning in. Peace.